But it's okay.
It's unbelievable. I never got good luck.
We used to go out to dinner, you know, and that was it.
On a birthday.
Yeah. Immediate.
Right.
Yeah, especially with
Nothing really sorry though, back to it, what's happening, basically.
Sandy, you make reference to that in the report, so I have that little piece of paper that you gave me that says, so it makes reference, and I'll just say in detail, we still have that.
Yeah.
Easy references in your support, so I should put.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Well, I probably said, I'm gonna stay away from the ideas. May. Okay. Yep, yep.
It's in my trunk.
We're gonna figure it out.
Just talking about it.
We're gonna figure it out. Yes, we are.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome, good evening.
If, I was a little late getting out the, sign-in sheet, but if you haven't signed in, if you would please before you leave, that'd be awesome.
Okay. We need call to order, it must be past 6:30, I bet. 6:32. Close, that was close. 6:32 p.m. Welcome, everybody, welcome, welcome. Sharon, David? Here we go. Winslow Food Mobile representatives, be present. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for having us.
I've never made it to Jackman for that event, but I have always continually wanted to. I know a lot of people that do take advantage of it out there. And, you know, we're a small community, but we do have the Caratunk, we have the unorganized territories that are around us, so.
And West Forks too.
In West Forks, yeah, I mean, definitely, so I think it's something we should explore, you know. I think it's a good idea. And you can tell us about it.
Yeah.
As you can see, we have a very broad area here. We have a tarred area that used to be a skating rink, but kinda isn't anymore. Just kinda sits there. And we have the parking area that, for access in and out, for the public way, so. Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Tell us your plan, what we can do to help.
All right, well, thank you for having us come up, and have this opportunity to share with you some of the great things that we can offer, this area. So I'm Cheryl Curtis, and I work at Somerset Public Health down in Skowhegan, as part of Reddington Fairview General Hospital. And I am a MAID SNAP-Ed nutrition educator, and usually I'm in the schools, I'm out in the community doing cooking classes, nutrition classes, but a part of my job is also to do policy systems and environmental changes. And so, I've been doing this job for about 8 years now, and the latter few years I've worked with Good Shepherd Food Bank. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
They had, when I would live down in Gray, they seemed to have like a huge warehouse in Auburn or something like
Yep.
that. Is that sort of like their hub?
Yep,
Or do
there's
they
one
have
in
other
Auburn,
places?
there's one in Hamden.
Hamden, so those are kind of the hubs and warehouses.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
And so, Good Shepherd Food Bank is one of the largest, agencies in our state that, distributes food out. And they do it all over to different partners that they work with. And a lot of them are the food cupboards, food banks and stuff like that. And, their goal is to work at ending hunger within our state. And they've done some research, using some, government, data collection, like census stuff and things like that, and their own, collection. And what they have found is that Somerset County ranks as like one of the top counties in the state of Maine for, food insecurity. And so when they've looked at that, looked at our county, there's actual pockets throughout our county that there's a need, they call it a meal gap, where there's residents that may not have access to fruits and vegetables, things like that, to produce. And so they wanna shrink that gap, they wanna close that gap. And, they also have partnered with this wonderful gentleman behind me, Bruce Batiglieri, who, is the director of the Winslow Community Cupboard and the Winslow Foodmobile. And he operates out of Winslow, so in Kennebec County, and he's been coming over a year and a half now,
October 22.
October 22, into Somerset County. And so, we started with a few sites, and now that's expanded. My last count was about 10 sites that he's come into our county, sometimes once a month, sometimes twice a month, depending on the amount of people that, he's serving up there. And so, I do have, I think you have at your table, just a
The
schedule.
calendar?
Yeah, that's just May's schedule that I printed off the Winslow, Community Cupboard's, website, just so that you can kind of see where they're at. He has volunteers and stuff like that as well. And we would just love to be able to come up here and have your area as one of our sites, to bring food to the residents of the Forks area.
So what qualifications does a resident need to be able to, access the food? And then two, what, determines what towns, are those food insecure or not really have access to produce? Just wondering.
Yep, those are excellent questions. I'm gonna turn it over to Bruce, because he can answer those better than I can.
So when I started this program back in October of 22, it was a grant that, most of the counties had through Good Shepherd, and it was a series of meetings. How can we end hunger, which is the game plan by 2030? Where are we missing? What can we do? So I presented a plan of calling it the last mile. There is a phobia with the older generation that, oh, I don't need, someone else needs the food more than I do. Transportation is another very big gap, getting food to people. So the plan was, I purchased 2 refrigerated trailers, so the trailers are insulated, the food is cold, stays cold, don't have to worry like 86 degrees today. And then transport it to areas where West Forks would be an exception, but we transport it to areas where people can walk. That they can walk to the trailer from their apartment building or whatever the case may be. So some of those towns, Madison, for example, Skowhegan, excuse me, I have 50-50, walk and come by car. Jackman obviously is not a walking. So Good Shepherd asked, even though it was a grant that was supplied by Kennebec County, they asked me, because of what Cheryl says, of the meal gap situation in Somerset. Also, I have the storage capability, and I get trucks every week, as compared to some of the other food banks in Somerset get once a month or twice a month, depending on the schedulability of the truck. So I just started doing one town at a time. Skowhegan was our biggest one. And as far as this program, there's no income guidelines. I'm very informal. I joke with them, I say, I need a name and I don't even care if it's real, but the data that I need is the town and how many are in their household. And that's what I report back to Good Shepherd. So that's the data that they get, but I put it in a computer system, and then, every month I put it in. I haven't gotten May done yet, but we're already up to 10,761 households that we've done in 4 months.
Wow.
So when we do it and I do the data and I run the reports and I say, okay, I have X amount from this town. I have a lot of folks coming from here, so maybe I should place a trailer closer to that area. And that's how it's spread. Today, actually, while I was doing rounds, we just added a trailer. We're gonna have Rome, and Dexter, because we've done Newport, we've actually gotten into now Piscataquis County. and then change this up, let's say. And for example, Jackman, I was going up once a month. Now I have to go up twice a month, because my rule is, if I do more than 100 families in 2 hours, then I'm gonna increase the service. So Jackman is now 145 families in 2 hours that we're serving up there. And there's a need, and I have Bingham and I have Jackman, and you're kinda right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
I do get towns, you mentioned earlier, Caratunk. I do have, I've actually had people from 186 different towns in Maine have visited our trailer at one location or another.
There you go.
And the only county I haven't gotten someone from is Aroostook.
Yeah.
So, and I get an average of 30,000 pounds of produce a week.
Wow.
I get a pallet of everything, and we're just here to help feed people. You know, I'm not looking down on anybody. We have a great time doing it. And my motto is, you can take as much as you want, as long as you're gonna use it and it doesn't go to waste.
Yeah.
Some items, you know, depends on how the quantities come. For example, this week I received cantaloupe melons, pineapples, bags of peaches. So some of those items I do have to limit to like one per family. But other cases, mangoes. I got 200 cases of mangoes.
Wow.
I mean, there's only 7 or 8 in a case, but that's something, if you love mangoes, I will give you a whole case. I like the deals, as long as you don't waste it,
Yeah.
you know, or I joke, I say put it on the black market, because, you know, it does happen sometimes. But, like I said, we're just here, produce is so expensive, and there was 18 different items that I had available this week.
Right.
Some weeks there may be only 10, other weeks there will be 18 or 19. But it's a very good selection. It's those items. I had cucumbers, cucumbers, green peppers, zucchini, butternut squash,
Yeah.
sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, cabbage, onions,
I'm getting
rutabaga.
I haven't had supper yet, I'm getting
A
hungry.
lot of people, when they come through, like, oh, perfect for a boiled dinner.
Right.
Is this federally funded? Is that where the funding comes from?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it all comes from TFAB, which is the Emergency Family Assistant Program, and then also Good Shepherd. So all the food, produce is free. So it
I think
doesn't,
we'd have some good responses if we had something.
I think if we, have it there, we'll see, I think people will come. I see you come to Chapman twice a week, obviously that looks like an outlying community, more or less right now. So would your plan to become here twice a week, or once a week, start off once a week, or how would that, what's your?
how I started off, like I said, it's
Vision.
once a month.
Once a month.
That's what.
Once we hit that 100 threshold,
Then you would.
then I would increase it.
Okay.
What I may do you feel there's a better day of the week here? We started doing the trailers Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, trying to give ourselves Tuesdays and Thursdays off, because it's ballooned so much. I mean, I could try to run it that it's the same day as Jackman and stop here, then continue up,
Which
or
would be
vice
good.
versa. I could do Jackman first and West Forks on the way back.
To me, if you could fit that in with your schedule, it looks like you've got a few places, but if you could finagle that would seem to me ideal.
Yeah.
Since you're all going all the way up to Chapman, coming right by me, why wouldn't you stop here, you know? So-
Right, yeah, with that program, we had 2 trailers, and then we also, because of the volume, we have a 3rd trailer now. So we have 3 trucks and 3 trailers, and 4 drivers, as of right now.
So just so you know, this is the Forks.
Yep.
And the West Forks
Okay,
obviously
Across the bridge.
is across the bridge, and Caratunk, so we're sort of like centrally located.
We're in the middle of.
Right in between Caratunk
Yeah.
and West Forks, so, I don't, you know,
And it's a visible location.
Yeah.
It's right here, so.
And we can post it on our website, we can post it locally, you know, the announcement that you will be here.
okay.
Any requirements for insurance or anything like that for you folk, or?
Not for me, if you require for the property, whatever the case is, I can get a certificate from our insurance company.
Naming us as the insurer?
Yep, naming you as I just
That-
need your information.
Right,
And then they can either email it it to you or snail mail or however I could bring it up on that first day, whichever you prefer.
Whichever, yeah,
I think that would be.
Yeah.
what we need, yeah.
and I think with your coverage for that, I don't think we'd have to have any coverage for us. I don't know,
No, I wouldn't.
right, I don't know
I
if
mean,
you've
we
ever
could
heard
call
of anybody
MMA, but
having to
we
have
also have-
coverage for insurance to have you on the premise.
Mr. Curtis right here has some experience. Do you think that we would?
That Timmy, I
Yeah.
can.
No, I agree, I think if you just have.
MMA.
Them
For the COI.
provide a COI,
Right, I
and
think
you
that
as
would work,
additional
yeah.
insured, you wouldn't have to add any insurance for this.
I
It's
mean,
really-
that's
It's really
awesome.
their risk to be here.
Right.
We, you know, it's a personal thing, I think, you know, as a child and going through what I went through as a child with food insecurity. And, you know, I've hit a point in my life that it's worked out that I can carry it forward to other people. And I'm very aggressive, sometimes too aggressive, I get myself in trouble. We're at 875,000 pounds of food that we've distributed so far this year.
That's exciting.
And last year was 1.9, and I'm on track for 2.4 million.
Wow,
And
That's
if it's
pretty
free,
significant
that is
growth.
awesome.
right. And then that being said, if there are days that I am light with produce, fruits and vegetables, I do throw on some shelf-stable items. I will bring some canned vegetables,
Right,
whatever I have extra that I can get.
wow.
And that also being said, if you've heard that the Freihoffer thrift store is closed
Uh-oh.
throughout the state,
Yeah,
because before I lost my leg, I was a bread distributor. And so I have connections, so guess who gets to pick up all the bread now? So I will be carrying bread and cake, English muffins, bagels, all that stuff on the produce trailers as well on a regular basis from now on.
people will be very thankful, I'm
What
sure.
a resource.
When would you
Yeah.
like to get started?
Did you drive up here in your cooler truck?
No, not today. Like I said, I try to have Tuesdays off, so, I just kinda did a day getting more sites and changing a couple of locations and so on. I can probably get it going as early as June 5th.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow,
I don't mess around.
no, I think, wow, that'd be awesome.
And what do you think the time would be? I see you might have to shuffle that all around, it looks like, cause you're already kinda, you got 10 to 12, 22.
Right, so as of right now,
But you've got more, I'm
It
saying
could
like
be
one
like
truck,
three to-
I'm like, wait a
Four to
minute
three-
here.
Four to six, three trucks.
no, I have one truck that goes up to Jackman, strictly Jackman.
Okay,
The other trailer, or two, depending on how much volume I have, goes to both the St. Albans first,
oh, yeah.
and then over to Skowhegan.
What's,
Like I said,
sorry.
okay.
The mill,
The mill is the mill in Bassboro,
okay?
okay? That is, there's some locations on here that are my favorites because there's enough volunteers that I literally just have to pull in the parking lot, get the product there, I don't have to do anything.
Wow.
They got the doors open, yanking the tables out before, you know, I can get back there.
That's good to see.
So the mill is one of those locations that all I have to, I don't even have to stay. We just get the product over there and that group takes care of it.
Okay.
So-
I was just curious, we got towns and I've never heard of the mill.
Inside, outside, what is your preference for, location? Cause obviously in the winter, you're not gonna be out in the parking lot.
We've been out year round.
Yeah. No,
I buy
yeah.
cases of hand warmers and toe warmers. Jackman did, let us inside for a couple months this past year, which actually worked out well with their food bank being in the basement.
Right,
But,
I know where you run.
huh?
I know where you set up, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be moving probably across the street to the Catholic church, so. But we can discuss something come September,
I mean,
October.
Yeah.
we don't have office hours here, the office, the building isn't generally open
Okay,
for a public, that kind of thing, but.
Well, I mean, like I said, we can cross that bridge when the colder
Yeah.
months get
Right,
here.
we can.
You know, if it is an option, we would definitely clean up, make sure everything's like
Oh,
we
yeah.
found it
Yeah.
and stuff like
So,
that.
so you need tables, what if it's pouring
No,
rain
I've
out?
been tables, I have tents.
They have.
I will only cancel if the weather is bad at the scheduled time.
All right.
Okay, but, and so what do you need from the towns?
I don't need anything.
Volunteers.
Well, volunteers, if you know, you put it on your website that people wanna come and help.
Oh, yeah. We can do that.
I know for the first couple of months, I had to bring all volunteers up to Jackman. Now it's kinda grown up there that I just have two people go up, a driver and someone to smack them and keep them awake every once in a while.
June 5th, I'm still working in Jackman,
Okay,
but,
I mean, if you don't, I can push it to the 19th if you don't want me to.
Is
No,
June
no, no.
fifth,
I'll
June
be
fifth
around.
is a Wednesday?
Yeah, I'll do it on Wednesdays.
I'll be here.
So I could
I have a
be
pretty
too.
open
Okay.
schedule, I just work around the rain, mow lawns.
As long as it's in the afternoon,
Fish.
because I work at Berry's in the mornings.
Okay,
Till noon, so if you did it on the way home from Jackman, it takes like an hour to get from Jackman to here.
if it's in the afternoon, I can make it.
okay.
Yeah.
Steve, my assistant director, has kinda kicked me out of driving in Jackman. He likes to do it, so he says, I'll do Jackman. So I will discuss it with him.
What would
and see
work
what-
out better logistically for you?
Okay.
Yeah, I will work it out with him. I mean, obviously, I like to drive too, cause I just like to come up.
I can say, I would think that at least the first couple of times, one of us would try to be here to help, you know,
Okay.
just
Yeah,
Yeah.
introduce people,
Yeah,
coordinate, facilitate what we could, help
you have
out,
a
you
kind
know,
of
find out
flyer
what
you
you're
want
doing
us
and
to
what we
put
can do to
out, or-
help. So,
So give me if you can share emails, or
Oh, yeah.
Cheryl, do you have emails up here?
I have, works.
Exploitation.
So, like I said, I've been driving today, so I've added Dexter and I've added Rome
Right.
to June, so I actually have to revise this calendar.
Yeah, yeah.
So my plan is to have this corrected by
Whenever
Monday,
you can make it, it's.
and then I can get it emailed up to you, and then you can have it.
yeah, I think any day would be fine that works out for you, but
Yeah,
obviously, we'd say logistically,
Yeah.
connecting with the Jackman.
Do that,
would
because
make sense.
everything's
Yeah.
expenses, right?
And we put a donation bucket out, and that's strictly how we operate with the produce trailers. All that money goes into the gas for the trucks.
Wow.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
it helps,
yeah.
you know, so I'm not taking, because we have multiple programs other than the food bank and the food trailer and the Freeze Project. And commodity boxes, we're also doing, CFSP, which are commodity boxes for 60 and older. That is an income guideline. And I actually started that program for Jackman as well. They're gonna start in June for that. But, you know, let's get this part started here first. And
I think
See how we go.
we're gonna have some good results. I mean, we don't have a lot of voters in town, but in the summertime, there's a lot of influx
Mhm.
for people coming in for the whitewater rafting industry. There's a lot of guides, people of all ages congregate and stay and hang, you know. hang
Right.
here. So,
I mean, obviously, my priority would be the residents
Yeah,
for your town and the surrounding towns.
right,
Um,
I agree.
you know, as far as outside, you know, I'm okay with it as long as I have enough to distribute.
No, that's true, that's true.
Is, food insecurity, is this one of these things that would seem to me like it exists and it's like a shadow? It's like it exists everywhere, but people aren't really, I mean, I could sit here and I'm like, think of people in my community and I'm like, I can't think of anybody, but I know that there are. You know, it's one of those things, it's sort of like it's not real obvious.
Right.
That folks are in that sort of condition, you know, and I'm hopeful. Do you run into people having issues with pride and it's like, I'm not gonna go do that, like, you know? Cause that's big up in the valley, I'm sure you know anywhere up in rural Maine, you know, the pride and, you know, I don't need no help. I'm just saying, you know, people have a lot of pride.
So we do allow, because, you know, older generation, I don't need it.
Right.
So I do have a lot of, siblings or children actually come and say, can I pick up stuff for my mom?
I had two people I picked up from the Bingham Food Cupboard.
Yeah.
And they said, well, we really need their license, and they refused to go, and I picked up a few months for them, and then they actually got mad at me. I said, okay, I won't do it anymore, but I think they benefited from it, you
Yep.
know, and it's a great service, especially down there, and.
Imagine that breaks down over a little bit of time though, doesn't it? I mean, if your,
It takes time.
if your approach is right and, you
Yeah.
know, people's, you know, word kind of spreads a little bit like, hey, this is a good deal, the people are really nice, and, you know, there's no, should, that's great.
The biggest thing is the stigma,
Yeah.
you know, and as far as our food bank down at Winslow, where we've taken pride, you know, and I wish we were a little bit closer, but we're up to 241, 250 families in 6 hours. And it's a problem when we open at 8 o'clock, and I already have a line of cars at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, my, yeah.
I have one client that walks, I have another client that rides their bicycle down and sits in line.
Oh, my gosh.
If you're willing to sit 2.5 hours before we open,
Yeah.
there's a problem,
Yeah,
you know?
There's a
depending
need.
upon it.
There's a need,
That's
and
a statement right there.
we've grown so much is because my other assistant, Christy Letourneau, who takes care of all my applications and clients, knows most of them by name,
Oh, wow.
and their dogs get dog biscuits.
Oh.
If I get an influx of candy bars, everybody gets a candy bar. Occasionally, I can get my hands on a pallet of flowers.
Aw.
You see the tears when they get handed a bouquet of flowers at the food bank. And word gets around, so, you know, people are coming to us instead of their food bank, which I don't encourage. You know, we try to tell them we're a supplement.
Correct,
Not
a mainstay.
Right, you know, and the biggest thing too, you know, Good Shepherd's trying to also break the rhythm of putting everything in a box, and here you go. I don't have time for you, just take this food and go, I don't care if you don't eat it, you don't like it, you're allergic to it. You know,
Yeah.
we've developed a grocery list, pretty much. We hand them 2 pages of up to 7,500 items that they pick and choose, and then we pack it.
Oh, wow.
So we're not wasting the food, we're not wasting the government dollars or the taxes. I'm giving everybody the dreaded lima beans or the pinto beans that nobody knows what to do with anymore.
Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts goes pretty good.
I love 'em.
It's okra that I can't get rid of.
Oh, my God, that's funny.
Canned
So-
spinach.
How about collard greens?
I don't know.
I tell them it tastes like spinach, but it doesn't, I have had it.
Well, that's great.
So anyway, thank you for our time, for your
Yeah.
time.
Do we need to sign a memorandum of agreement or anything?
No,
or-
like I said, I'm easygoing, and my main concern is getting food out to the people. Let's feed the people. And if I can save a family $15-20 to go buy their son an extra special
Do you
treat
have
that
like a
week,
flyer that you have made up that we could?
just the calendars that Cheryl's given you.
Oh,
That's all I really have. We do have a website, WCC Pantry.
Is that
Right here.
Yep, we also have the Facebook page.
nice?
Um,
I mean, we can make something up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not a big deal.
yeah, when we put out tripods when we get here saying free food, you know, we'll put one a little bit up the road and one here, so people have a little bit of time to.
We have a sandwich board too,
Yeah.
that we could put that on Winslow Food Covered out front. We could do that, right, Susan?
Yes,
Yep, produce trailer coming
Yeah.
June 5th, you
Yeah.
know. Monday I'll know the time, so
Yeah.
you get a chance to talk to Steve.
I think we should do
Sounds
that.
good.
I think we should do that.
thank you all for making the trip here.
I know, we appreciate
Yeah.
you.
And I'm glad, I'm so pumped that we're gonna be part of it.
Yeah, we look forward to your next trip up here with goodies.
I always had a garden when I grew up and I miss the fresh product, produce. Yeah, I love the Aaron garden.
Yep, so excited and, especially when you see the children
Oh,
that
right?
come through and they get excited if they see a carrot or they excited if
Yeah.
they see a cucumber.
Oh,
You know, it's way to go.
it is, you know, it's so cool.
All right, I know you have other stuff on your agenda, so I won't take up your time, but thank you.
Thank you very much.
Again, thank you for making the journey, come up here and do this.
Good to see you as far as Somerset.
Yeah, sorry.
Take care. Drive safe on the way home, okay? It's all downhill. Don't hit me black
That's
spots.
right.
Okay. Would you like, and he's also the mascot, he has to sit on the table and greet everybody.
You can.
So he comes to all the produce trailers
Oh,
around
good.
that. So,
Who doesn't want
Thank you.
coffee?
Did you want our email, or she has it?
sure, I'll do.
Cheryl started it.
Awesome.
Thank you, thank you folks.
Take care, folks.
All right, thank you. Cool.
Just so folks know, David Rancourt did text me, just said there's some sort of a problem with the generator for the dam, so he's,
You had to go.
that's why he left.
Oh, well. Okay.
That was nice.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good thing to have in
I
our
thought so.
community, you know, I do, I mean, you know, so.
We'll see.
Okay.
I mean, some of our aging population has left us, but we still have others around. We still have others around.
Like I said, I think there's probably people out there that we're not even aware of,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean, that have
Yeah.
food
Oh,
insecurity, so. Okay.
Article 2, Three Rivers and Northern Outdoors liquor license. Northern Outdoors liquor license is here, our copy is here, and we signed it prior to the meeting. Three Rivers, liquor license, Charlie signed it and I signed it. I was just waiting for them to bring a copy back, and they didn't bring it back for the meeting, but I wanted to put it on the agenda so everybody was aware. And so there's really nothing else to do with that. Move on to Article 3. In Article 3, which we should be seeing that money come in for this.
Snowmobile.
Yeah, it's the final snowmobile request for grant monies. And this went out, I believe, April, I sent it out April 23rd. And I have a copy here, but I wanted to put it on the agenda because it came, I signed it after the last assessors meeting. But it's here if anybody wants to look at it, okay? Cool. Oh, that's all good. So it's that time of year where our Lake Moxie leases are due. They need to be sent out in the next couple of weeks.
Can I go back to
Yeah.
the board to review?
Yeah.
So the board did you review it?
We did prior to.
Okay,
We did.
so there's no action that needs to be taken as far as the
No,
minutes
no,
go?
no.
Okay. Okay. Alright,
So, okay.
carry on, I'm sorry,
No, you're
wanted
right,
to make
this is
sure.
one you can look at. These are the original leases, which, we have 6 leases up at the corner at the lake. I did get news from Tim Davis's lot number 5, which is the one on the corner of the Shirley Road.
Mhm.
They have accepted his new application,
LUPC.
LUPC. He's not having 10 sites anymore, he's moved his trailer back, and we're gonna get a copy of that to review.
Yeah, it's between them and him.
The thing that LUPC had a problem with was, there's a clause, on page 2, it says, no trailers or campers may be located on the premises except temporarily with prior written permission of the lessor. 3 of the 6 lots have trailers on them. Well, one doesn't, it's had it, they bring it up and they take it away.
Like they're supposed to.
Right, and then the other one has 2 trailers on it, which, technically it's only supposed to be 1 trailer. So if we're gonna try to, curtail the use of more than 1 trailer, we should change the language.
I am not familiar enough, and I should be with the document to know, where we need to.
You know,
I mean, it
Could be
requires, do we
one-
have
one
any
trailer.
any of these, written permission, from any of these trailers?
No,
Cause
they're not
theoretically,
allowed.
none of them should be there right now if we don't have a letter, and the letter, it would seem to me, is renewed every year.
It would be, we'd give them a letter of permission for the camper every year. I could go back and look in the form of leases, I don't believe. I'd be
doesn't it
quick-
say that it's okay if they're there temporarily?
Yeah, but I think what we have up there, from what Sandy's telling me, there's one person that has one that's up there and it's left there year round.
I see.
And there's another person that has 2 that are
Right,
left there
right.
year round, and that's in
And-
violation basically of the lease agreement. But if we don't have the signed letters, and it's like, you know, it's sort of like, we
I
need
know.
that.
If we had stronger language that said 1 trailer or camper, may be located on the premises except temporarily with prior. Right. I mean, they can have one unit, they can't erect any solid buildings, you know, they're not, that's in the language as well. But,
Okay, so
if we had one trailer,
one
Or
trailer
camper.
or camper may be located on a premise
right,
temporarily with prior written permission, that's all we have to do, right?
Temporarily is pretty broad.
yeah, it is, it could
It
be
should say
6 months.
annually or
Seasonally.
seasonally.
We don't
temporarily is
request that they
pretty-
take them away, you know, prior to the winter.
I thought you wanted them to do that.
Yeah, you know, as long as they're still mobile, it doesn't matter if they're there year round, I don't think, as long as they're movable.
I
They
think we're
sink into
gonna,
the ground.
that's a slippery slope though, because if you
That
don't move a
definitely
trailer
is.
very
They're
often,
gonna
pretty
be
soon
here
it won't
forever.
be movable, so.
Right,
I thinking that one trailer or camper may be located on the premise seasonally with prior written permission, it must, that's a little difficult, cause then it's like, oh, I wanna be up there in the wintertime.
oh God, in a camper.
Right, I'm just saying, and so, you know, and you say, well, you can't have.
Well, you can stipulate what the season is.
And I mean, if they wanted to add a second trailer, they would have to get permission. That's the way I read it,
Mm-hmm.
except temporarily with prior written permission. So if, you know, one is okay,
Mm-hmm.
and if they wanna do any more, they have to come to us, the lessor.
I just looked at that sentence, said one trailer camper may be located on the premise seasonally with prior written permission of the lessor, one.
One,
Yeah,
yeah, I
just
like the
one.
one, so we can change it.
It's just the seasonally piece gets a little bit trickly, because
Yeah.
again, I'm saying, just somebody's gonna say, wow, I want it up there in the wintertime, well, then you gotta move it every summer, I mean, maybe it's just gotta be that it's movable.
Right, right, remains mobile.
Yeah.
Right,
Mhm.
and I know campers tend to grow legs and get in the ground.
Yeah, well, they get,
So one trailer or camper may be located on the premises seasonally, you said? Seasonally? Except temporary with prior written, okay. I like that.
trailer camper must remain,
I like that. And then, if that lease from that person that has the 2 trailers comes back signed, then with this new language,
Yep.
then we could then talk to them,
Mhm.
you know. And these are written up every year, the leases are what, $10.50 each year? And they'll be going out in the next couple weeks.
Okay, yeah, I agree,
Yeah. Okay. So I make a motion, we change the language to what we said,
I second.
and all in favor? There we go. Yay. Okay, we'll do it.
We may just wanna work on that sentence a little bit to get it smooth, but I think it's pretty good. It's just a moving piece, but I think it needs to be able, it's like, you know, that thing, go up there and look at it, it's sunk into the ground, it's like, dude, that's not movable.
No, that's right.
But it's going to be, because it's
know,
gotta
right?
go,
Right,
all the
right.
wrecker or whatever, get it the hell out of here.
Exactly.
It doesn't meet the criteria.
What this report is, come
Well,
on.
honestly, even from a legal standpoint, once you allow that to go on for a certain length of time,
Mhm.
then they have a right
Oh,
to
but
leave it there forever.
Like
Exactly,
grandfather.
exactly.
Yeah, that's not the word that they use, there's a real legal term for it, but it's like if you own a cottage on, you know, water.
Prescription easement,
It's what?
a prescription
A
easement.
prescription easement, yes. And so say you have a camp and you always let the people at the camp next door walk across your property to get to the lake, because they don't have any waterfront. You let that go on for a certain length of time, the next people that buy that camp have the right to walk across
Continue
there.
with that.
Yeah,
Tradition.
even though you never gave them a right of way, it's a prescription easement, that's right. Prescriptive
Interesting.
easement, yes.
Prescriptive, right?
So I think you do have to be kind of careful, because that isn't that's not the purpose of the lease, is to just have it full of metal junk up there at some point.
I'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
But the purpose is to have one trailer, it needs to be movable at all times.
That's the term right there.
Yep.
Movable at
At all times, I go up there, geez, you know, you gotta move that, you can't move it then, it doesn't meet the.
That's right.
the
So you're not
agreement.
gonna restrict the length of stay, you're gonna,
Yeah, I think so, I think that's better,
Yes.
because again, seasonal, there may be somebody that says, hey, I wanna come up here every winter. Does that mean I gotta move it every summer? But I wanna be here in the summer
Well,
too,
how
it
long
just,
is the lease? Is it an
a
annual
year,
lease?
yeah.
Yeah,
But I'm just saying, somebody's season
Yeah, I
is
agree.
different season, so I just say
Yeah.
it needs to be movable
at all times.
at all times.
Yeah, I think that's very good. I do. I think that's very good. How would you argue with that? You know, unless you
Well, how
want it to be
cheap those
permanent.
leases are, $1,000 a year, really?
I know it,
Mm-hmm.
that's really cheap.
And who's the lessor? Is it the Ford's Plantation?
We are,
Yeah,
It says the
Yeah.
Ford's Plantation.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are the owners of the property.
Yeah, I know that. I just wondered
Yeah.
if, what the language was on the lease, if it's specified and not a person's name.
Right,
All right.
you're driving.
Judith's report, I can't find, but I know what it said. Not much going on in the tax collectors. Not right here. One more check. This is Julie, and that's our buddy. Okay. I don't have Judith's report, I'm sorry. I do know there's about 19,500 left in outstanding taxes. And, you know, they're coming in pretty slow, I mean, not even really coming in, but, that's what she has. We're getting ready for town meeting, and after that,
I have the treasury, are you, oh, sorry.
no,
I make a
that's it.
motion, we accept the
Yep.
tax collector's report.
I'll second it, all in favor? Okay.
I have the treasurer's report here from Evan.
Okay.
Checkbook balances of May 21st, 2024, $111,958.49. We do have some money in there that, still has not been transferred. It harkens back to last year's warrants where we transfer money to some of the long-range accounts, and that has not been done. I don't have the exact figures, I think there's two or three transfers, and this is my bad, I just don't have the paper with me, that still need to be made. In other words, the amount is still in the general fund, but it needs to be transferred to the long-range dam fund, you know how we do that, so. I don't have the exact figure for that.
It's about
I think it's about
$35,000
$35,000 that still needs to be taken from that 111 and dedicated to the long-range funds, according to the warrants that were passed last year in the town meeting and the
Okay.
special town meeting. And that's just moving money from one account to
So when are
another.
they gonna do that?
The, RHR Smith is gonna be here on the 29th and 30th. They're bringing 2 people. And that was just one of those things that Evan wanted to go over with RHR Smith.
Sure.
We've talked about it, he said, I'd rather
Yeah.
make sure that the accounts are reconciled and things are sorted out,
Right.
kind of do that at the same time.
So, am I correct then, once we do that, our balance is going to be less than the $100?
Yeah, it's gonna be
About
about
$35,000
$35,000 less, so it's
So
gonna
we
be right
spent
around,
a lot of the money that
around
we
9
borrowed.
grams.
We spent a lot of the money that we
All
borrowed.
the 100,000?
$100,000.
Yeah.
65,000 of it,
Yeah, that's pretty serious.
it's very serious. Over and above what we,
So, yeah. And then
Another thing that has come up with all of that, and it should be mentioned as part of the treasurer's report, is the $25,000 that was
Voted on just.
voted on last year. It wasn't really done properly, the way the warrant was amended and the wording and all that. So what we're planning to do is in this year's, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Sandy, this year's warrant, we're just gonna say, does the town wanna refund that at $25,000 a year? Do you know what I'm saying? Refund that. because it was the way it was added on and altered like the purpose of the article and not that all, so just one more, it seems like, well, we've already voted on that in a way we have, but this way, the wording is appropriate. Do the townspeople, or something close to, do the townspeople agree to refund the repay the, long-term closure account at $25,000 a year?
You know, the sad part of that is, without those votes to approve using that $100,000.
Right.
That vote went through really based on the fact that it was going to be paid back.
Mhm.
So we could actually have a new vote at this new town meeting, and
Change that.
if that wasn't important, or the people, I just think that's awful, 'cause,
It
in
needs
other
to be
words,
done
then we get
formally.
overridden.
What's that?
Well,
Well, I don't, I
It wasn't
think,
overridden, it's just.
I
wasn't done
think what
right.
it's doing is clarifying, is giving
but it requires another vote,
it does require.
and so it might not go through.
That's true.
And that's unfortunate, because the people, I mean, there were some people that were very adamant and voted for us to use that money based on the fact that it was going to get paid back.
Right.
But there's a lot of things that we can inform them about that possibility.
Do you get my point? You
No,
know,
I
it's-
do get the point, but it had to do with
It's
the way
just
the
not-
amended,
Well, I
you
understand
know,
what
was-
you're saying,
right.
but
You
that
know, whatever
really is
parliamentary-
unfortunate that we were inadequate in how we worded that, so that it requires another vote.
Right, but I think part of that comes down to be honest with you,
I wasn't
our
one of them,
inexperience
there
when
were
it
people
comes,
at that
right,
meeting
but
that
I
would
think-
not have voted for that if it hadn't stipulated that it would be paid
I
back.
think there was many people at
Yeah.
that meeting who felt that way. And,
That's right.
and actually, I mean, when it comes to my report, I'll just mention to you what I put in for the warrant. Obviously, you guys need to look at this, but what I
Right.
wrote,
The warrant
addressing
hasn't been
that.
finalized.
yeah, so. You know, I agree with you,
It's almost like.
but I'm
oh,
not
now
really
we're
sure,
just
I'm not
cheating.
really sure that,
After we got our hands on the money, now we're just.
I think things
That's
are-
what it's gonna
no.
come across as.
but what I'm hopeful is that the people who voted that way will feel the exact same way this year. You know what I mean, and it will,
We'll see.
we'll determine that. I don't
to be
think it was
determined.
even a question. I don't think it was like closed vote or anything like
It's not a
that. I
very
think,
It's not
no.
a financial.
and it's got to do with procedural
Right,
and wording more to do.
so I think it's
And I-
important for people to know that it has to do with procedural wording,
Right.
and not just, oh, let's just change our mind about this.
Oh, yeah,
No, it's more to
I want it
clarify.
done so it's a.
So that's what it is, and I agree, I agree,
Yeah,
so, and I think most people, you know, why the hell are we voting on this again, we already voted on it, which I agree, but
right,
I'm assuming people probably, with the proper information, will vote the same way that they did before,
This is gonna be a hard year.
anyway. So, I have here from Evan, recent deposits, 347.61 from revenue sharing, 6,060.25 from the tax collector, for a total of 6,407.86 for deposits. This month, and I have 70,766.40 May 21st balance after unpaid commitments. And so that is including the $25,000, I believe. It's hard for me-
Being paid out, yeah,
Right.
which it's 95,766.40
Right.
without the payments.
Evan isn't here to, you know, I've
That's
got a
fine.
report here, and so.
No, you keep on.
And then he said, thanks to help from Judy and Charlie, the budget is almost complete. Charlie and I plan to finalize this week.
We need another meeting with all four of us again.
Yeah, he's just we're gonna get those numbers together
Right.
from Trio onto the spreadsheet and
Right.
finalize that. That's the plan. So, that's the treasurer's report to the extent that I know it. There's some stuff in there that Evan probably could explain more
Right,
than
that's
I
fine.
do,
No
but he's not
I
here.
make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I second.
All in favor? There we go. Okay. Town clerk Susan.
One second.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so the very first item I would like to, bring up is the wages for the ballot clerks. The last time that they were paid apparently minimum wage, they expected more than that. I'm requesting that they get paid $16.70. Like
You mean
every,
1760?
whatever the $17.60. It's not that much difference in the course for two people for the day. And it's what other people are making to clean in here, to work the dump. I just feel like, that's what they would like, and it's really hard finding ballot clerks, and I would like to request that we pay them what everyone else in the town is making for, for random tasks. So that's the first item. The second item is, I know that we kept the wages all the same, for everyone, but I think for what the clerk does, I would like to request, whether it's me or anybody who becomes elected as the clerk, instead of 3,000, I'd like to say that it is worth 4,000, just for the amount of, there's been 3 elections this year. There's meeting minutes every month. There's me putting town, report together, registering dogs. I mean, there's more than, I just.
Right, I mean, you're not
I feel
putting the
like-
town report together alone, so.
It's not what I said. I'm just saying that I feel like the work that a clerk does, it is, in my opinion, respectfully should be a raise.
That would be something that would be a town meeting to decide
Yes,
that.
absolutely.
No,
I'm
no,
just
we
saying to
can-
put it in the town as a recommended.
We as a board can discuss it and put it in as a
That's what I'm
raise, and
asking.
recommend it as a
Yep.
raise on the warrant.
That's what I'm asking. That's
But
But
my
it's
point.
voted on by the people.
Yeah, that is my
Absolutely.
point.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
And
asking.
the other thing is that at the meeting itself, it can be amended and changed too.
Of course.
Right.
Yep,
I'm
yep,
just
yep.
saying.
Raise
Okay,
from the
no,
floor.
that's
Okay,
true.
just saying,
That's
okay.
true.
The voting booth upgrade that I sent to, the assessors, I got a response from Charlie, I did not get one from you, Sandra.
Right.
Sandy. I feel like that the voting booths are, as I mentioned, they are rickety. They're all, the aluminum is all bent up. And there's several sharp edges. The last time I took them down, I cut myself and I, couldn't stop bleeding while I'm trying to pack things away. I would like to get.
You mentioned 2 different kinds. Is there one that you like better than the other one?
Well, the first one had like the sort of like cardboard side, so the second one, and I think they were $289 a piece. Actually, I did see in that brochure that if you buy them as a combo of 2, they're like just a little over, like between $400 and $500. So I was looking
For
at
2 of
that
them.
yesterday.
Because you mentioned 2 different types, so do you have
Yes,
a price for the 2 different
so the
types?
second one that I sent you a cut sheet of it has, molded, plastic
Right.
molded sides, so it's much more sturdy. But when you collapse them, they're in a little suitcase, that thing is in a, it's bigger than this
But
table.
they're open on the top, there's no privacy, right? They're
This-
open on the top.
All of them are, even the ones that we have are open on the top.
But I mean, just the sides going up, nothing over the body, you know what I mean, just the sides, so it would be,
I'm not sure why you need more privacy to vote, because you actually have to take your ballot and bring it over so somebody could look at it.
But it's got 4 sides, right? I mean,
No,
it's-
No,
it
it's
stands
two
up
sides.
and
Got two
I
sides.
don't have the brochure, I could go get it.
No,
It's
I-
like this, and it's probably about that tall.
Mhm.
The table is here, has 4 legs, and I just feel like the amount of time that those things take to assemble and disassemble, there's tears in the fabric, and yes, we could make do with them for a long time, but, I just, it's a request. It's for the board, I guess, to consider, anyway.
I kinda like the privacy of those, that you can go in and shut the curtain, do what you're gonna do.
Well, that is less of a concern of mine. I have to be honest with you, we're looking at like one more, we got election that require those in June,
Right.
and then one in November, which
Right.
is the presidential election,
Right.
right?
Thing is, we have town meeting the day after, and that was one thing that I asked, like, a long time ago, was it would be nice if they were not clustered in the same time frame, because there is an assembly and a disassembly, amount of time associated with those. And they're not to mention, they're very complicated to figure out what
So-
goes where and how, didn't you think?
Yes, I think they're very difficult to put together, and I think that they do have sharp edges, and I think that they're near the end of their life. But
It's possible.
because I put them together and they're a pain in the ass, you see me start cussing about it.
I think it'd be more, advantageous to wait until after this next one and then visit before the election in November. We've got a really, really tight budget, and I know $500 doesn't sound like much, but it's gonna, I would like to see us revisit it after.
Well, I guess when I look at both these things, is two different items, is there anything else, cause we're gonna have to, I think, vote on these things.
Right.
Yeah, the other thing is that I did, instead of using the template for the, I put together, this is the beginnings of the town report.
And that's a lot of good work, Susan, but I got the other one almost done. I worked on the other one.
Judith gave me the other one, told me where it was, and that's the one that I started with,
Right,
except for that it's not formatted, so
no,
and it had no numbers in it, so
This is formatted.
this is formatted so that if you put an article in between 12 and 13, you don't have to renumber everything else, it is automatic. The other
Right.
one has no formatting, and I just, to me, the engineer in me can't,
I
I just
know.
can't
Well, you're
even
very-
stand
This,
it.
that's not an issue that we're gonna solve tonight, so. we're
No,
gonna
so
format
all I'm
it.
saying
a lot of
is
hard
that
work.
I put this together, it's missing numbers, so this is, I put a placeholder in here for Judith and Evan's report, but I have, so like this is a placeholder, but I've fashioned it after what is in here.
correct.
So the first thing is the obituaries, this is the obituaries, the next page is the town offices, that's what this is.
Yeah.
So I've gone through and I've, matched this, and then I've put placeholders in for things that are missing, and I have in the warrant,
Right.
I've highlighted, items where I'm not confident that the number is is finalized from you guys, or that it's simply not there.
We're still in the progress on that, we need to sell.
I'm just, right, this is my opportunity to say where I am, okay? This is R.H.R. Smith, we need his report. I did copy the things from the West Forks.
Right,
um,
from
their town
Yeah.
book, so that we've got all the,
it just helps us,
Angus King and
Yeah.
all the other
yeah.
reports from them.
I think
I
we've got a
know
good start
that-
on it.
I know that our thing is to put the commitment book in this book,
Yes.
and I know that that's what you guys wanna do, but it is, first, it is a huge, look at this book, I don't have the West Forks.
I'm not sure right now is the time to debate the format of the
Right.
Okay,
town book and
that's
how
But
it's
a
gonna.
commitment,
I'm just
how it's
saying,
gonna be
needs to
placed.
go in.
We've been-
this is where
right.
we are and we aren't done, and this
Not
is
yet.
what we're printing off, I'm
Okay.
just saying
We will
that it is.
discuss it as we move
I think
forward.
we've talked in the,
Yeah.
that long-term, I personally think it would be good to get the commitment online and reduce the size of the book, but I
It
don't
is
think it's
online.
happening
It
this
is
year.
online, it is online.
This,
Well, if it,
I should say though, this is single, page, so this will be
Half of that,
that
yeah.
amount. This is, I didn't print
Double-sided.
this double-sided actually,
We'll move
so
forward, we'll talk
my
about it.
bad for that, but in any case,
Personally-
okay. That is, other than the fact that the weather service person came in here today, and I have a business card to share with,
The
but
board,
Sandra, you said that you've already spoken to
I
them.
did speak with her, very
Okay,
nice lady.
so, she didn't know that we are part of the, emergency and
Because of Moxie Dam.
awareness system,
Oh.
so.
Because
so
of
she-
Moxie Dam.
So she said that she wanted an email, basically, that requested to be on this program. So if we are already there, then it's a moot point, but I'm going to share this with Liz
Thank you for
Caruso
talking with
because
her.
she doesn't,
Alright.
she's not part of it.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we increase the pay for the ballot clerks to $17.60.
I second.
Okay, all in favor? Let's do that. And I know we're not gonna agree on the voting booth thing. I don't know if I make a motion and then you don't second it and then we just. I don't know.
Well, you'd be surprised. My personal feeling is that we get through the June 11th election with what we've got,
Right,
and hopefully we'll have new ones by November. I
Right.
personally feel it's difficult. I think a lot of things need to be addressed in this town, but we have overspent the last year, and every penny counts. And I really think that right now, until we get a better handle on this year's budget and our tax commitment and where we're all at, I know it sounds petty, but it's
No,
only a few
I
hundred
don't
dollars, I'm
disagree
just
with
like,
you
you know.
guys, actually, I
I'd
really
like
don't.
one more election and and believe me, I put those things together, I mean, I pretty much like walk out of here.
I don't disagree with you guys, I just wanted to
Yeah.
let you know.
No,
Right,
that
no, and I
is-
appreciate doing the research, and there's not a doubt in my mind that it is something that needs to be done, especially if I have to keep helping put them together.
I will personally help you take them down. I
That's
will
it,
put
they
them
are,
up for you.
they're a pain,
Well, no, I do it the night of the election, just because it's the
Oh.
easiest thing to do.
so,
No, the day of the election, you mean?
The night after everyone's gone,
You
which
take them
is
down. Oh, but I mean, I can come out.
like at 10 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock, for you. It's a very long day for you. I
okay,
get that.
Okay, so
Okay.
is that part of the motion then, is to increase, the ballot clerk's salary and to wait on
The
the,
voting booth purchase.
Yeah.
Yes.
and to
Yes.
wait on voting.
Right.
Okay, and you made that, motion,
Yep.
Sandy, and Charlie, you.
yeah,
are
for the
second.
1760,
And, all in favor?
I think we just did that, but it's okay.
It's okay. Hey, it's formal. We have to wait till she's up with us, just hang there.
All right then,
Just gonna do
that's,
it.
so then now we have to, make a motion.
Make a motion, we accept the town clerk's report as it was issued.
I second it. All in favor, there you go.
Thank you for listening.
Absolutely. Article 8 is the acceptance of the Assessors Meeting minutes of April 16th and the emergency meeting of April 6th, because we didn't have them in front of us last time. But I looked at them and I think they're fine.
I make a motion, we accept the, meeting minutes from the assessors meeting on April 26th and the emergency meeting on April 6th, excuse me.
I second it. All in favor? Okay.
I don't know why I'm burping, because I didn't.
Okay, can we go back to, we didn't say anything about whether or not you guys are gonna consider, do we have to consider whether or not you're gonna put in the town book, the increased?
Yeah, it's not gonna be.
I don't think that's something we're gonna
No.
decide.
Put a
right
motion,
tonight.
okay, all right, I just.
That's part of
We have to
constructing
talk
the
about
town
it.
book, and that's
Okay,
kind of a
yeah.
different,
All right,
you know.
I don't think
It's a
it's
different
here for
process.
any salary increases. We'll talk about it. We will. Alright, Moxie Dam update. Chris Hugh and Leon Duvall are, monitoring the dam is at full status. The old dock has been taken away, thank you, Charlie.
Well, thank you, Daryl Giroux,
Yeah,
John, I'm not sure his last name, and Tom Sylvester too, cause
yeah.
even when I went up with the intent of doing it myself, it was pretty clear, pretty sure that I would've had an awful hard time doing it
Right.
myself. We
You
ended
were
up
willing to try.
with 3 guys, a chainsaw, a sawzall, and a tractor, but we got it done.
You were willing to try, that's the.
And then the guys up at the dump helping me unload it too.
Nice.
So, anyway,
Right.
so it was good.
The
to
new
get that.
dock is in place. I did buy some zip ties for Chris, so that he could zip tie the, you know, the shelf or
decking.
the decking to the frame. I don't think we're gonna get that amount of water again, but that storm in December scared the bejesus out of me, so we could still have another event like that, so having them secured is a good
Yeah.
thing.
Zip ties are cheap enough.
Right. And, yeah, that's what it is, it's in progress.
I have a question, but I can wait until the citizen comment.
You don't need to wait.
How much was the final price of the dock? I mean, I know we voted on it at the special.
We did, it was 16,200 and something.
Whatever the price was, 16,000, I had it when I was on
I thought it was-
vacation,
Yeah.
096 or
No,
something,
it was
and I had it.
16,000, and then I included installation, installation.
But it was the same amount that was on the warrant.
It
That's
was
what we did.
exactly the amount.
So the difference must have been the $950 that he wasn't going to charge us if Chris helped him?
I'm not sure,
I don't
Well,
know.
there was a price for the dock, and then there
Right.
was an installation price of $950, which
Which
we
we didn't
didn't,
pay.
right,
if Chris helped him.
and we didn't pay that, so we didn't pay anything
We
more
paid the
than,
base price of the,
than that 16,000
I
and
don't know.
whatever it was.
I must just remember wrong then, because I thought it was less than that.
No, it
No.
was 16,000, so there
I
was,
can't remember the number right
Yeah.
off the top of my head, but,
It must be in the minutes from the,
from that other day, yeah.
yeah.
no, but the amount that the check was exactly what the voters
quoted-
approved on
he
that
quoted us,
particular
yeah.
day, no more, no less.
No, it wasn't.
Do we know what, month that was? Was it,
April sixth
okay.
was the special
Right.
emergency meeting.
So it's in place and it's safer, I think it's a lot safer. It's also wider, which should help. Any more questions about the dam, anything about the dam?
All right.
I didn't notice that you had put the keys back to Ida's house though, Charlie.
I haven't.
Okay. You probably shouldn't live with you.
Well, Article 2, at least for the 4-6 was, this is April 4th? What date did we say it was,
The 6th.
April 6th?
Well, here in the minutes, it says, I mean, on the agenda, it says April sixth, but it was Good Friday.
But that's got nothing about the dock right there on those minutes, right?
No, this
Okay.
is emergency assessors meeting Saturday, April 4th.
That had to do with the executive session.
Right.
Okay, so that's not it then.
I remember just being the only one here, that, I was the only one in attendance, and we voted on the dock, and Chris was here.
He was. Miss Chris.
Okay, on March 29th, there was a meeting. And it's $16,093.65.
Good, thank you.
That was just over.
And
Yeah.
quote does not include $950 installation charge.
Which will be waived, right, which was waived.
Right.
So,
That's nice.
So that was March 29th.
okay.
So we're all
Different
good with the
meeting,
dam.
so,
Okay, I just wanted to
Thank
make
you.
sure.
Number 10, FEMA reimbursement update,
Wait,
so.
did we have a motion to accept that report?
I make a motion to accept the Moxie Dam
Okay.
update.
I second it. All in favor? Got it. New flag looks good too. FEMA reimbursement update, so Charlie and I have been very busy working with FEMA. On the Lake Moxie Road, there was 5 areas, and on this Mountainside Cemetery Road, we're involved in trying to get some monies back from FEMA. We did complete the projects this week. I did go in and sign the grant portals, Charlie.
Yep, I saw that.
And how much is it?
12 and change, isn't it, something like that?
Yeah, we didn't have anywhere near the amount of damage that other places had, but, I thought it was very important for us to move forward to try to get that back.
Hey, 12 grand, you know, I mean,
Right,
and
absolutely.
and everything that, I'm aware of dealing with FEMA, there doesn't seem to be any technical problems, you know, with the process, but it's gonna take another couple of
Yeah.
months, and
Oh,
it is
yeah.
multiple layers of
Absolutely.
federal
The federal
bureaucracy to
government.
get this done.
But
Right.
they're,
Absolutely.
But they're also, I have to say, to support the federal government, when people talk about bureaucrats and this and that, the people that came up here were very professional, very knowledgeable, very helpful.
Yep.
And really good resources. I mean, it was a very positive experience, and I made sure Christie knew that, you know, that it's been good. And I think if anything comes up, it's not gonna be like, I'm sorry you missed it. It's gonna be, call you and say, hey, look, you know, this has come up, can you do that? They've been very, very, supportive and
Good.
helpful, so.
That's good
I
to
think,
know.
I just wanna say for
Yeah,
FEMA and those people,
That's
it's been a very positive process and experience, which is good.
so that's been, it's been a journey, hasn't it, John? But it's been great. John's been a big help getting that all done and working. In fact, the last meeting I couldn't come, so that was awesome.
No, we've worked together getting that
Yeah,
done, so
absolutely.
it's worked well.
Article 11, the audit update, on the 29th and 30th, RHR Smith is bringing 2 people here to finish up the 22 audit and to start the 22-23 audit. So, that's gonna be an interesting year with all the difficulties we had, but, he's gonna get it started and he says, wrap it up, and I don't know if that means he's gonna have something for us to read in hand or what, but I told him when our town meeting was,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, you're pretty close to the
Snap,
deadline
snap.
where we need that copy,
Yeah.
you know? I don't think we would be in favor of holding up the town meeting if we don't have that copy of that audit, but it should be forthcoming. And they're gonna work with Evan on reconciliations, which is gonna help him with the checkbook every month
Yeah.
and get everything.
Yeah,
And the
going
chart
over
of accounts is the other
accounts and-
thing.
Yeah, that's very necessary.
Right, cause I know at the ambulance service that I sit at the board on, every month they have a sheet and every line has a percent that it's used.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
That's
and
just
it's a good
easy.
earmarking.
Of knowing where you are, it's
Yeah.
like,
Well,
oh
it's
my,
easy
where.
with the programs, I mean,
Yeah,
there's
So-
no other way to know, you can't just
Yeah,
spend
we're
freely.
6 months into that year, and we've already spent 80% of our budget,
I know.
ruh-roh, so.
I know.
But you know, I think that is all in the works, but this fee of accounts is really important, and I've been working with Evan, and we're going over stuff, and there's like 2 different accounts for kerosene. And it's
Yeah.
like-
it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And so,
It's
and he put,
It's redundant.
2 months he put it under one,
Reasons.
and 2 months under another, not his fault, but it's like, there should just be one kerosene you know what I mean,
Absolutely.
subcategory, so that's what he will be, he'll be
Yeah.
working with
He
RHR
wants to
to clean
simplify
that
it
up.
too, he wants to
Yeah.
clean it up and simplify it, yeah, he's been working hard.
Well, I think it's important for us to realize that to get, I mean, we have to
Change. We have to
quality
change.
people doing these jobs, because you can't just walk into that without any experience and.
So, as far as RHR Smith, are we going to get his report, a written report, like?
Yeah, for the
before
2022, yeah,
That's the.
we don't have it yet,
Okay,
and
For
it
the- for the
will be
22.
published, it will
I
be
get-
published,
That is the plan, to get it published and get it in that report,
and on the
Which-
website.
so.
okay.
And I honestly have to tell folks, and I mentioned this the other day in our budget meeting, I really, what this has to do with, I think, is, RHR Smith, and if you read the article from MMA, I mean, he has grown exponentially.
Well,
I think he's having a lot of
he's gotta
growing
work that out.
problems, but communication, intercommunication, this and that. And, so I'm not saying, yeah, Sandy's done a pretty good job kind of pressuring him
Yeah,
about this.
I mean, he's not
Um,
charging us
as
any
of
less
late,
for all the lateness of the reports, et
Certainly
cetera,
not.
so.
No,
He's
so,
gotta, he's
I'm
charging
just
more
saying,
than he's
but,
committed.
you know, she kind of
Good.
was like, hey, but I really honestly, I don't think there's anything, you know what I mean,
Okay.
anything more than that. And I think, I mean, I don't know what to do, because
Right,
there aren't any other people, there's no competition, and he
No.
kinda knows that, but I really think he's honest, has integrity,
Right.
and
I-
he's kinda basically bitten off more than he can
And
chew
I'm glad he
across the
signed,
state, you know what I
Right.
mean?
I'm glad he signed on for the next year. I was holding my breath on that one, cause I was
Right.
thinking, yeah, he's not gonna be that, no.
Unfortunately, the days of having, you know,
Right.
somebody like Keel, cause there were other people like him, seem to be falling by the wayside, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, it's just
Right.
not, there's not people doing it like that anymore,
Right.
so, anyway.
So
So-
encourage your grandkids to go into, the audit business.
Municipal auditing.
When
Yes.
Connor
That's
started
it.
at Bentley, but he hated it, so he left.
Alright.
He didn't like this.
So that's all we have on the audit, and, UKVAS is our next article, Article 12.
Is that a report that we need to?
No,
I don't
No,
think
it's
so.
just an update.
Informational.
just an update. UKVAS, the new ambulance is in service. It's awesome. They're gonna get a second unit instead of upgrading the one they had, they're gonna get another unit. Awesome. He's gonna be here for the town meeting, he said, and hopefully we'll have I have a picture, I sent you the picture of the ambulance for our town report, hopefully. But everything's going well, down there. He's also the, town manager for Bingham, so he's more invested in the area,
Good.
and, he's doing a really good job down there.
That's true.
Yeah. I make a motion to accept the ambulance report.
My second.
Okay.
Okay, so how is it that one needs to be, I'm not, okay, whatever.
Cause that,
One was an update, and this is just, cause I go to the ambulance, and I sit on the
So
board.
it is a okay,
So it is a
Got
formal
it.
report.
alright.
Sorry, I can't breathe. CFWF update. We have had 4 requests for, off-site demo trailers this month. That's gonna add up.
I didn't
and-
realize those were available, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a demo,
Mhm.
like a building demo, or you taking things out of something, it doesn't matter whether they bring it up to the landfill or if we pick it up there, it's still something that we pay the tipping on, we don't pay the
Right.
fees for the
Right,
pretty
container.
much the same thing as like what,
right,
you know, what
Right.
you know, in Northern, and
right.
I don't know, does anybody else besides Crabapple Northern have one, does Three Rivers?
Three Rivers does, yeah,
Yeah.
Three Rivers does, Moxie doesn't, but, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But, CFWF is going, Chris is still our attendant, and he's working up there, he's gonna start our summer hours here pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
Um,
We'll be open Thursday after Memorial Day.
yeah, after Memorial Day, right, that's our first summer day. Yeah, so things are going pretty well up there.
Yeah, just to add, they, had a little problem up there last week, and it was supposed to be Carrot Hunt Day, and
Oh, yeah.
the container wasn't delivered until 10:30 on Saturday.
Oh,
But, it's worked out, but they're gonna also have they're gonna keep it up there, cause it's not. We actually worked out a reciprocal agreement, or West Forks worked out one with Carrot Hunt, so they used West Forks demo, and we kept track of it, and we're gonna charge them, but then that showed up, so we're just doing a reciprocal, you know. We took some of your junk, so now you're gonna take some of ours, and we're just, you know, the Haynes have kept track of it, so
It
we're just gonna
offsets
do that
itself.
rather
It
than,
offsets
you
itself.
know, maybe Roy Trapper might be concerned that it's 10 or 15 pounds off one way or the other,
Oh,
but.
Lord.
But, you know, I think if Carrot Hunt's happy,
Well,
I'm
they can
happy with
stand
the
it.
arrangement, you know what I
That's
mean?
standard.
The metal's overflowing, I called on that last week, they gotta drive never out. So it's just gonna keep piling up until they can come up and get it. So if anybody's wondering why the numbers so big, it's, you know.
Yeah, that time of year.
Well, they're funny too, they'll say that, oh, driver's out, might be a couple weeks, and we're coming up tomorrow, the driver's on his way out. I'm like, you gotta go open it, so they're kind of
yeah.
funny that. Anyway. I make a motion, we accept the CFWF update as,
As stated, I
stated.
second it, all in favor? There you go. Old business. Old business, okay, the old business, the budget, I think us sitting down together last Sunday, all four of us was very beneficial. I think we should try that again, to finalize a warrant.
Mhm.
And I think Evan still needs some coaching on his next steps, what he needs to do. Judith was very, very awesome to come to the table, and, we all were. I think it was very productive, and I'm very proud that we did that. We're not done yet.
no, we're not done, but
No.
I have to say, I think everybody recognizes, like, you know, we got a job to do, and if we don't do it, it's not getting done, so.
I know, we want.
Had a budget workshop. I'm trying to, sometimes scheduling is hard, but
Yep.
that's the second one. We've had the first one, Judy
Charlie
was
and I
not
did.
there.
Charlie and I
But
did.
we're trying to post them 24 hours notice. Sometimes with scheduling with Tandy and I, it's like, but you know, so,
You know.
and both of these were posted, you know, the budget workshop, more than 24 hours. It's really hard for us to, cause she thought, well, maybe Saturday, but I might drive, blah, 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 and then, oh,
And I
it's,
didn't
you know,
drive.
nice day, I gotta mow. So,
I
but
saw
I
that
feel
too.
like, we're making progress and, you know, and I thought it went.
I think we're gonna get
pretty well.
there.
I
think
have
it's gonna
reason to
happen.
believe that it will continue, and we'll get the job done.
So the town meeting is scheduled for
So for June
June
12th.
June twelfth, okay.
Right.
So
So
it's not,
does-
this is the last assessors meeting before town?
It is.
Yeah, we were just saying that tonight. Now,
We
does
wouldn't have an
Judith-
assessors meeting though before the town meeting.
Does Judith?
No, I
No.
just meant,
Oh.
town meeting's coming before the third Tuesday, that's what I meant.
Yes.
So,
Oh.
this will be the last assessors meeting that
Before.
you'll have
Yes.
before.
Before Saturday.
That is
Hopefully.
correct.
Hopefully.
Unless we have to call a special or an emergency or anything like that. The
Yeah.
last scheduled assessors meeting.
Yeah,
Were Judith and Evan going to work together to do their reports? Do we need that before you can continue with your budget,
No,
or no?
No, that's something that they do on their own and include that in the town book. It's nothing contingent, we're not contingent on that work to get the budget finalized.
Okay,
It's just like a, whatever, expense report,
Yeah.
whatever, tax commitment report, whatever that stuff is.
That's
It's a
nothing that we-
thing, yeah.
okay.
No, we don't.
And I don't know, I mean, I guess when you guys meet, this is right now on Google Drive.
Right.
That's the most current one, so when you guys meet, I'll just, print it or give you access to the, well, I probably wouldn't give you access to it, but I definitely.
I think when
can print it.
I get the rough draft done or the one I've done, I was gonna email it to everybody. What happens is you do round one and then you do round two. And then just before you send it to the printers, it goes out to everybody and everybody looks at it, hey, you know,
Final
this or
editing.
that or whatever. And everybody picks up stuff, you know, spelling, sometimes positioning, I mean, so it's nothing that one person is gonna say, okay, it's ready to go.
So the one that
So you'll
Judith
be able to
gave
have
to
one.
me on Sunday
Yeah.
to work with
Right.
was labeled 22-23.
Right, now it's labeled 24, 25,
So you worked on it
off and on, yeah, I have been,
like after Sunday?
I have been.
So even though I made this, you also made one.
It's one I'd started with, so I'd continue with it.
Okay, whatever, this one is formatted and it has all the same numbers in it that,
I think that one of the things, Sandy, that we're gonna be doing as we move forward is we are probably gonna be doing things a little bit differently.
That's fine.
And one of the things that we're gonna try to do is make things easier for the next whoever, you know what I mean, like for
Right,
people
yeah.
that come next year, the year after, the year after that. And we don't have to decide it now, but it would seem to me, if the document itself and the wording is the same, having it formatted makes it a lot easy to
Not-
edit as you move forward.
Not just formatted, but everything
But
lines
we-
up, everything is, you know, all the tabs are in the same spot, it's not like this going down a
You
page.
can take a look at
It's
it.
just-
if you
I
haven't
would,
seen
I'd
it,
be
you know what I
happy
mean?
to
So,
take a
but it's
look
the
at
same information, it's just, you
Um,
know, exact same information, so.
You know, well, people are you know, duplicating the
Duplicating
work.
efforts,
Why would you wanna do all that work?
I was gonna start on one, I'm glad I didn't.
Oh my God. Enough to do, enough to do.
Okay,
So
Cause
we're
mine
gonna
would
set
be
up a
like,
budget. We'll
this
figure
is
out
how
what
I
to do.
format it, line everything up and go, hit my space bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's my indentation every time I come around, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Any other old business, mister?
I don't have any old business,
Oh, I'm just asking.
nope, not that I can think of.
Any new business?
We've talked about new business more or less as we've gone through, I don't have anything specific.
I'm excited
You?
about this food pantry thing. Yeah. Citizens' comments and questions. Okay. You're all good? I'm good. Done. Roma, time. 7:56. I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second.
Alright.
Thank you
All
for
in
coming
favor?
down, folks.
Yep, all in favor?
Yeah, I'm in favor. You can leave that right there, Chuck.
Thought you wanted to move south to the.
No, 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 we're good.
No, don't worry about
Yeah.
it. They will take care of it. We got the lesson. Yeah, Susan, I'll take care of it, if you haven't heard from.
I heard from Lindsay and I got that girl's number
Yeah,
at Marshall's last Friday, and she said she was willing to do it, but I was gonna ask you.
well, you know, I'm a little hesitant, like I said, just to add a new person on the payroll rate at the end of our year. I think for this,
She's
I'm
somebody
actually.
that's around. She's somebody that's around, though, I mean.
Is she around year round?
She has been, yeah, she worked at Hawksnest,
Yeah.
works at
What's
Hawksnest. I don't remember what her name is, I don't know what her last name is.
Well, talking
Well,
about saving money, we were gonna do it for free, or you could pay somebody to do it. We can save the money and buy
Then you
voting booths.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, I wanna do a job on these floors, I'm actually, you know, I wanna wash this floor, I mean,
You'd have to strip
Really well.
it, you'd have to strip it,
I know, but I can, to do it right, but if we could wash it.
right, you'd have to strip it.
You know, when I was a kid growing up, I had to wash floors on my hands and
Is
knees
there
with a
anything
rag.
in the town warrant, in the town report about the, you know, looking into getting a, generator?
Yes, it's gonna be an article.
Oh, good,
Yep.
that's
Yeah,
great,
it's gonna be an
okay.
article. Yep.
We got a price quote for the generator,
So-
and I got a price quote for the
Oh, for the
installation,
propane installation, awesome.
so,
Good.
Good.
yeah,
That's good.
in December, it was horrible that we did not have,
Well, it just seems pretty basic, you know?
yeah.
It seems, but if we don't have the money, we don't have the money, so.
Well, we'll see if the
We're
people
gonna be
wanna
raising
spend it
just
that
about
way.
everything.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, it's gonna be up to the people, but my position is that if we have a freeze and it's a prolonged period of
I
time,
know.
and these pipes start busting,
Well, all
you're
these
gonna wish
people
you
that
spent
are gonna come to-
12,000 on the generator, cause it's gonna cost you
I know.
$112,000.
And all the people that are supposedly gonna come to the food bank could perhaps use a warm place to be during the day, at least, if
Yeah.
their power is out.
But with that food pantry, it isn't access to this building.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying, if there's enough need
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
needy people in our
Then
community,
they
to
I've
probably
needed
have
to
a
use it
food
before,
bank,
I've needed to use it.
then, it seems like, even if it's just during the day, they can go home at night and crawl under their covers, but, you know, it's dark and they're cold and it just.
Oh, I agree. I can tell you, I looked into, and unfortunately,
It's the best thing we ever did. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
how we lived without one, all those years.
I live by that.
Same.
mine
41 years.
has
Sure.
like 600 hours on it.
Yeah,
So, but I've averaged 100 hours a year,
yeah.
and that's when power outage, it's the
Right.
only time it comes on, so
And you
100
know,
hours a
we
year
never
I'm without
used,
power.
we never used to have rolling power outages, but we sure do now.
I'll tell you, these climate change storms are bad,
Yeah,
they're gonna get worse.
all right, thank you,
Have a good
everyone.
evening.
Thank you, Sharon, have a nice evening.
Yes, you too.
here.
What happened
It's
to
just-
it?
It's not really connected to the internet in here and whatever, it just
That's
is.
fine, that doesn't help you out much.
That's fine.
And this one was my refund for my taxes that
What's
kind
it?
of was
He had questions?
yeah, he has to reach out to Judith.
Okay.
I don't, I mean, he could have reached out, but he didn't, so. To be determined later.
Okay, so, I think, Cindy, I am done with this as much as I don't know if you want to,
So you put in an article about the generator? Cause there's two other
Uh,
articles.
no, I did not put in an article, but, wherever you want to add, I didn't get those.
There's 3 articles we have to add, and we have to check that verbiage on it, Charles.
Yeah, this is what I did,
And do the
for
generator.
that $25,000, and that's why I highlighted it so that you guys, and I don't even know if this is where it would go, but it was this, paragraph that basically, cause it says, talks about the closure account to see if the people will raise money to repay money borrowed from closure account.
We transferred it, we borrowed it, we transferred it, and then it
Yeah,
was
just put-
And then it was
offset, was to
25,000.
offset taxes.
Yeah, so this could be, obviously,
Change
this
a
was
little bit.
just a placeholder for
Yeah,
you
this
guys
is a,
to see that.
this is a, draft.
This is a
And I
total
think we
draft.
were not gonna put in to offset taxes, we weren't gonna use that verbiage, just what we're gonna do, the people agree to raise $25,000 a year to repay the money transferred from the long range,
That is
closure
really
account.
poor
I want
decision.
you guys to look at everything, obviously, and I know you will, but what I highlighted were things that I really want you to look at, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I know,
So-
they're gonna be all finalized, I get it.
So, and
Tomorrow-
I talked to Lindsay today,
Yeah.
and they have a school board meeting on Thursday night, and I told her to tell Regina that we need this report as
I've
soon
already
as
talked to
possible.
Regina, and,
Okay.
I was gonna come to the meeting if I don't have to go Skowhegan to pick up that report, so we'll have their actual stuff that they need in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she could get it to me electronically, that would be even better, but,
They have, they hand it to me physically, it's a physical warrant.
oh,
Yeah.
and then you retype it?
No, and you take it to the printer.
Oh.
Yeah, the printer formats it.
Um,
And the printer needs 3 days, he said, this is awesome. Needs 3-day lead time to get the full printer before the flight.
that's pretty, that's not too bad.
Not bad at all.
I thought that's the, okay, yeah, that was.
So this is then, the West Forks, and
Oh, yeah, then go back.
I printed, in here, and then,
Yeah,
so I copied them and I whited out
Yeah, they came out really good.
the,
Yeah.
West Forks
I know.
information. So,
Good job.
that's what I did today when I came in, but like I said, I've got like a placeholder in here where there's missing stuff. And you'll see, just a scrap piece of paper, but one thing I wanted to know what you guys thought about this is, again, to save paper is, do we need it looked like we did last year,
We did.
like all this information, everything that they submitted.
Yeah.
So, there was
What do you mean,
two,
like from
look
Edwards
at all
Canyon?
this, no, all of the, donation stuff, like this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really pertinent to the donation, but it's what they sent us.
Yeah.
That's what we include, it's traditional.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, I think we usually have like the letter to Baker House and stuff like that.
okay, so
So
I
it,
think
somebody
it
asked
helps-
a question, they said, you say, go read the letter, go read the.
Well, they have a chance to
Yeah,
read
yeah,
it before
yeah,
they get it,
exactly.
before they
Yeah.
get here.
okay,
you
And it's
know.
in the format where they can access
okay,
it.
so anyway, that's where this is, and I think, I wasn't sure what this is.
Okay, that was just information on the budget. for the-
But I did my best in terms of
Oh, yeah, you did.
putting this in
129.
order and whatever.
Yeah,
So you
No, no,
can,
you did
you
good
can
job.
look at this.
Yeah.
This is your West Forks book,
we should put it on.
and I think that that's, but I've already copied everything from
Oh,
this.
thank you.
So I don't think you need that
And this one,
Unless you
this one
want-
we can
yeah.
do it again and print it and get this off,
Yes, yes,
I mean, that's
Yeah.
nothing,
yeah.
that's simple. If you do two copies.
No, this
the
is a
second copy-
100% is, what I think we should do is send the electronic thing to the printer.
Right.
So that he can,
An
he or
electronic
she,
copy, you mean?
yeah, has, that they can then use that to format.
Usually, it's something we have to hand deliver.
Well, do both, give him a thumb drive.
Invoice, this is
Oh,
not
it can
a
happen, it
warrant
can happen.
preview, this is a warrant.
Right, this is on top, and maybe we should, we'll probably have to get together again, Susan,
Yeah,
after we
absolutely.
meet. He's got some sheriff information he's gonna get too. So you're gonna, I'm not doing
Okay,
this
so
tonight, I'll
I
get ready
thought we
tomorrow.
had decided
Yeah,
just to skip that one, but I'll.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm gonna call, I'll
Yeah,
call.
no,
them.
that's fine, I'll put that in there too then. I just,
I don't
it's not, I don't have a placeholder for the sheriff
Oh,
because,
don't worry about it right now.
no, I know, I'm just
Fine.
saying, so
No,
what,
fine,
So this-
thank you for that.
Nothing on this I need to do right now.
because, the
West
West
No.
Forest,
No, I'm just gonna put it back in his thing and say, you know, please.
West Forest
process.
didn't have
What is this
anything-
lady, what's this all about, this NOAA lady?
The weather service gal.
She's trying to, basically, devise a system in the state and from Bingham North, because there's not really a way to make us aware of, if there's like a disaster happening or.
Weather disaster.
Weather-related disaster, so she's trying to find out where the problem areas are, and she's working, you know, with,
Is there anything I need to do right now?
I'm sending it to Liz, cause Liz doesn't, I told her about Carrot Top was as badly hit as anybody, it's just, so all they're interested in is the Kennebec River, and I was like, oh, I'm still on video. There.